Happiest of Fridays to everybody. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me, 45 minutes to be precise. Really sunny day. We'll spend a little time maybe indoors, maybe outdoors, getting a little movement in. We've got 45 minutes of flow style class. Grab a cushion if you think you might want one for when we're on hands and knees. Otherwise, I think those are all of my announcements, and I'm ready to get up and move, and hopefully you are too. So let's grab any cushioning that we might want. We'll bring it over to our mats. Let's place that cushion off to the side where we can grab it in a few moments as we make our way to the floor. But for now, we'll back up to the part of our mat farthest from our screen. And let's get our feet in line with our sit bones. So feet are going to be parallel to each other with the toes facing our screen. Our heels are going to line up with each sit bone. So right in the middle of each cheek. We'll stretch our fingertips down toward the outer knee joint lines, just slide them down the thighs and spread your toes away from each other. So we get that nice stretch from pinky to big toe, stretch across the instep of the foot and also across that arch. From here, soften up your knees a little bit and we're gonna plant our big toe, our pinky toe, and our heels firmly into the floor to give us a little tripod base of support on both sides. If you feel safe doing so, close your eyes. And as we close our eyes, we might notice a little bit of sway entering into the equation. We might feel ourselves shifting a little bit toward one foot or the other, toward the ball of the foot or toward the heels. And we might feel some subtle adjustments that we're using our muscles through our lower legs, maybe even our thighs, maybe even that trunk if it's a big sway to control. Take a breath here. And then if your eyes are closed, we can open them right back up now. And let's take another big breath. This time as we exhale, we're going to draw belly and spine toward each other and feel that seatbelt of muscles engaging from the lowest ribs all the way down to the top of the pelvis and back and to that pubic bone in front. We've been engaging, doing a little bit of work. From here, let's look up to the ceiling and then down to the chest. And we'll repeat that again. Look up and look down. Looking straight forward, we take our chin and gently nod it back toward the neck. We're going to feel the crown of the head lengthen up to the ceiling and maybe get a little stretch between where the head and neck meet in the same time. Holding that nod, let's turn. We're going to look over one shoulder and over the other, and we can repeat that one more time. We see that side wall. Maybe we see a little bit of the wall behind us too. And we turn to look over the other side. Let's face forward and tip our head to one side, ear to shoulder, and then ear to shoulder on the other side. Bring the head up tall. We're going to take one hand to the opposite collarbone, press gently back and draw down, and then tip the head to the opposite side again. From here, we can give our chin a little nod. Maybe we can turn that face, look down toward the armpit. Over up toward the ceiling on the other side. Feel that stretch move along different spots of the neck, and we face forward. Coming up tall, switch hands. Other hand goes to the collarbone. We're going to press gently back and slide gently down, dragging the hand superficially along those tissues and muscles. We tip our head to the other side, feeling the stretch just north of that collarbone. And then let's nod the chin. Take it away from and toward the neck. And then we rotate that face, look down toward the shoulder. And right back up toward the ceiling on the other side. Looking forward again, let's bring our head up nice and tall. And we're going to take our fingers to the front of the waistline and the thumbs to the back of the waistline. So we make a little C with our fingers and thumbs and we encircle the waist with those. Pulling the fingers toward each other. So pinkies are resting along the sides of the trunk. Our index and middle finger and our thumbs are pressing toward each other now. Let's draw belly and spine a little closer together. We're going to feel those muscles activate and feel the fingers and thumbs actually draw a little closer to each other as those muscles tighten. Lift up your toes. As we lift our toes, we feel our arches come up off the floor slightly in that inside portion, that medial portion. Spread the toes away from each other. And then if you need to look at your toes, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we look straight forward. We drop our pinky toes, then the next toes, then the next toes, then the next toes, and then those big toes, and we press them into the mat. Again, lift them up, spread them apart, tap them down outside to in. Lift, spread, and tap. One more time, lift up, spread those toes apart, tap them down one at a time, and when the big toes press into the floor, we'll shift our weight toward those toes and then back toward the heels. And let's shift back and forth in a range where we can keep our toes and our heels firmly planted into the floor. We're going to try to find that edge where we come forward just far enough that we feel our legs working, and we come just far enough back over the heels that we feel our shins working, but we keep those toes on the mat. As we continue to shift forward and back, we may feel a little bit of subtle movement underneath our fingertips in that trunk. we'll come right back over the center of our ankle joints and push the weight from foot to foot. We're moving our body in one unit from the ankles all the way up to the crown of the head, and we're going to feel those oblique muscles kicking into our fingertips on both sides as we shift our weight from one to the other. Let's make circles around our base. Toes and heels stay planted into the floor, and we feel those muscles in our entire lower half activating in slightly different patterns depending on where we are in our range. We're going to feel the muscles turn on and off underneath our fingertips. We pause wherever you are, take a breath, and then circle the other way as we breathe that air out. Trace the circle on the ceiling with the crown of the head. Last two. And one more time. Let's come right back over our feet. We're going to shake those legs out. We're going to shake our wrists out, and we'll spread those feet a little bit wider apart than our shoulders. We turn our heels toward each other, and we point our toes toward the front bottom corner of the room. Let's drop those tailbones down. At the same time, send the crown of the head to the ceiling. So we have a big string leading us up to the ceiling and a big string dropping a plumb line down between our feet. We're going to picture a little space between both points of that string, between head and tail. Picture a little bit extra space from each segment that goes right from our head down to that tailbone. Keeping that core active, let's inhale our arms up and overhead, and then we breathe them out to the sides and down by the thighs. Again, we take them up and overhead. This time we clasp our fingers, press the palms to the ceiling, and straighten those elbows out as best we can. We're going to do our best to release those shoulder blades and let them slide down the back side of the body. Keeping the core active or resetting belly to spine, we take a nice tall side bend. Taking that upper body, rib cage and north, up and over, reaching the palms and the crown of the head toward the top of each side wall. Press through the foot to pop up and over to the other side, and we should feel some work and some length through those side muscles. Inhaling up to the ceiling now, and then we breathe the arms out to shoulder level with the palms facing forward. Let's widen up our stance a bit more. We can bend our knees a little bit further and bring the thumbs and the hands forward enough that we can see our thumbs wiggling in our peripheral vision. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, we stretch our fingertips toward those side walls. Spin your shoulders in circles. Trace little circles on those outer walls. We're going to feel the upper shoulders start to work. We circle the other way. The rest of the body stays still, and we have to make some little micro adjustments through the lower half to keep everything still as the arms move. Freeze those arms, and we're going to turn from our breastbone, rotating that body from one side wall to the other. Everything below the waistline stays still. Everything above the waistline moves in line with that breastbone. Inhale, face forward, exhale, turn. Inhale, face forward, and exhale, turn. Let's face that screen again and bring the arms down by those thighs. Give the shoulders a little bouncing shrug. Tip that head side to side again, and we bring our toes to face the wall in front of us. We're going to heel toe them a little bit closer together. So our heels are now a touch wider apart than our shoulders, and we're going to bring the pinky sides of our hands right to the fold in our hips. Tuck your elbows in by the sides and think about widening your collarbone so the side of those shoulders are pressing out toward our side walls. We're going to feel some stretch or some length through the chest as we hold this position. And let's tip our tailbone back and fold the pelvis forward, fold the crown of the head forward toward the screen. We bend our knees to settle down a little bit lower into our feet. And let's take our hands, remove them from the thighs, and reach them toward the mat. Rowing, we tuck our elbows in just north of that trunk as we squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then we reach back toward the floor, extending through the elbows. Squeeze, squeeze and hold them there. Now we press our arms straight, reach behind. Press the arms straight and press. Last time, we press the arms back, sweep those hands down toward the ankles, and let's bring that body up nice and tall with the arms in a high V or Y position. Taking those hands up overhead, let's extend the arms toward our screen, the palms face down and the elbows are straight. We're going to relax those shoulders down the back side of the body, point the fingertips down, and then point the fingertips to the ceiling, the palms face our screen. Point down and up, we're lengthening through those tissues in our forearms. With the palms facing the screen now, we have our fingertips up toward the ceiling. We open those hands out to the sides, make a straight line from one palm to the other. Again, we point our fingertips down and up. If you need a little slack, we bend the elbows. And now let's bring our hands down. Shake those wrists out again. Roll those shoulders out in circles if you'd like. And grab your cushion. We're going to place it right in the center of the mat. Turn lengthwise on the mat and back up just a touch from that cushion. Let's inhale those arms up and overhead. And then breathing out, we bring the arms to T. Park them there as we tip that tailbone back and the crown of the head forward. Take a big breath here and exhaling with a nice big sigh. Our hands come to the floor and we walk them forward, inching our knees and our toes back until we can place our knees on top of any extra cushioning that we want there. On this all four position, we have our wrists, our shoulders, our knees, and our hips in line with each other. And we want to do our best to keep our trunk and our head in the same alignment with each other that they would be when we're standing. So we have a curve in the neck. We have an opposite curve in the upper back between those blades. We have the curve the other direction in the low back. And then our sacrum rounds slightly again as the tailbone tucks slightly down toward the floor. Big breath in here. Exhaling, we draw belly and spine toward each other. Pressing our toes into the floor. Let's take the belly to the ceiling. Curl to cat to look toward the thighs. Reverse it to cow with the tailbone unfurling toward the ceiling and the breastbone facing our wall in front of us. Curl to cat. Reverse to cow. One more here. Curl to cat. Reverse to cow. And we come right back to our neutral position and press those hands firmly into the mat. Keeping the upper body nice and still, wag your tail. Take that hip toward the screen and then toward the far wall. Folding the lower half of the body to the side toward the upper half. Come on back to center. Squeeze through those shoulder blades, dropping the breastbone toward the mat. Press those shoulder blades forward, lifting the breastbone a little further from the floor. Squeeze back, press forward. Squeeze and press, and one more time. Squeeze together, press apart and hold. We're going to press through our toes. Lift those knees off the floor momentarily. Feel the arms. Feel those core muscles. Feel those quads. Hold 3, 2, and 1, and those knees come back down to the mat. Let's turn the tops of the feet down to the floor. Shake your wrists out before placing the hands back down in line with the shoulders. We're going to tap our toes out beyond the outer border of the mat. Inward rotation through the hips, and then cross one ankle over the other. External rotation. Slide out to the far end of the mat. Tap and cross. Tap and cross. Last one. Tap and cross. Unwind those shins. They're parallel to each other. We bring our big toes together. Walk those knees out to the outer edges of the mat, and we press that bottom back. Our sit bones are going to be lengthening down toward our heels, and our tailbone is pointing back toward the back of our mat. So we're avoiding a ton of rounding in the back. We're trying to keep that tailbone nice and long with some extension, some length through that lower body. Let's go ahead and slide our hands toward the head of the mat. Inch them forward until we feel some stretch through the outsides of our shoulder blades. If you have the range here in the room, feel free to lower that forehead toward the mat. And if you need to take pressure off, bend those elbows and place them on the floor. We're going to rock that breastbone from side to side, opening up the side of the trunk and lengthening out into a stretch through the outer borders of our shoulder blades. Coming back to center, we drop to the forearms. Let's shift our weight over those elbows and take any cushioning out from under the knees now. Pressing the forearms into the floor, we come to rest on those upper thighs. And pressing through the hands, we lift through our breastbone, lift it up toward the bottom half of our wall in front of us. Again, we squeeze our shoulder blades together like we did on our floors, lowering that breastbone toward the floor. Press through the shoulder blades, wrap them around the front of the body, lifting that trunk up. Squeeze and press, squeeze and press. One more time, squeeze those blades together. Press them apart, and we turn our body toward our screen. Tucking the forearm underneath the body, we roll onto our backs. Leave that screen side arm at shoulder level, extending the fingertips out toward the screen. And then we bend up our knees, keeping them gently apart from each other, lining our heels up with our sit bones. We're going to take that opposite hand, unfurl it out to the far wall, lengthening the fingertips toward our side walls with the arms making one line from the fingertips of one hand to the fingertips of the other. If this is too much on your chest, neck, hands, all of the above, lower the hands down a little bit closer to that trunk. We're going to nod the chin toward the neck and drop the middle back down toward the floor. That's going to open up the chest a little further. Resetting belly to spine. Let's turn that head. We look toward our screen, lengthening out through the far side of the chest. We look to the ceiling as we breathe in, and then breathing out, we turn that face toward the far wall, opening up through the chest on the screen side. We may even feel this all the way down the arm toward those fingers. One more time, we look toward our screen. And one more time, we turn that head toward the far wall. Looking right back to the ceiling, let's bring our hands down by our sides and flip the palms over to face the floor. Rest the hands gently on the floor as we reset belly to spine and rock that pelvis toward 12 o'clock. We're going to curl the pubic bone toward the breastbone, maybe even allowing those tailbones to come up off the floor a little. We reverse it, take the tailbone toward the heels. There's 6 o'clock. curl it to 12, lengthen it down to 6. One more time, curl to 12, flatten out that back. Lengthen to 6, allowing the back to come up off the mat if it feels appropriate. And we come right back to neutral, right in the middle. Lift the screen side of the pelvis off the floor, rotating the other direction. We're rotating our navel toward the far wall. There's 3 o'clock. Coming back to neutral right in the center, and then we lift up the far side of the pelvis, rotating it toward our screen. Inhale to center, exhale, rotate to 3. Inhale to center, exhale, rock it over to 9. Coming right back to the middle, we take a big breath in and exhale, belly to spine again. Let's float our arms to the ceiling and then reach the blades up, wrap them around the front of the body, far as we can with the head and neck, stay nice and still. Let's come up onto our toes as we do this. As we press our lower backs into the mat, we're gonna feel that trunk engage. Reach those blades up, lower them down. Reach them up, lower them down. 2 more, reach and lower. Reach those blades up, lower them to the mat, and we spring our knees up to tabletop with the shins parallel to each other and to the ceiling. Press the hands and the thighs toward each other, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. And as we build our pressure, we're going to feel that midsection engaging even further. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Breathing in, we keep that pressure from the hands and thighs toward each other and lengthen through the knees, toes to the ceiling. Bring those toes back to that parallel shin position. Inhale, straighten those knees and exhale, bend with engagement through that trunk. Inhale and straighten, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, and breathing out, we come back to tabletop again before pulling our far knee into the body. Give it a hug, dropping the elbows down toward the floor. And let's press our free leg toward the wall in front and we lengthen it down to a hovered position. Switch the legs, pull the knee into the chest, grab onto that leg and stretch the other one out to hover. Inhale to center, exhale, switch. Inhale, knee to chest, and exhale, switch, hold it there. We're going to take that hovered leg and moving from our hip joint with everything else as still as we can, we take that leg and swing it side to side. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Circle that hip, stretching those toes to the wall in front. 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Take that exhale and we move our circle the other way for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale that knee into the body and then breathing out, we press the other one out to hover. Slide it side to side. Here's 4, and 3, and 2. Focus on keeping that breastbone nice and still and facing the ceiling. Circle the wall in front for 4. There's 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. Exhaling, we take it the other direction. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Lengthen that hovered leg down to the mat and we pull our bent knee gently across the body. We're going to feel a little stretch through the outer hip. Rock that hip up off the mat as we reach the knee toward our screen. Inhale back to center, switch them up on the exhale, pull and slide that other leg all the way straight. Let's draw the bent knee across the body, opening up through the hip and giving a wiggle off the mat as our knee rocks toward that far wall. Come on back to center, hang on behind that lifted thigh. We kick the thigh into our hands. We reset those shoulder blades gently into the floor and reset belly to spine. Lengthen through the knees, stretch the toes up to the ceiling and then bend the knee again. Stretch to the ceiling and bend. Stretch to the ceiling, hold that length through our hamstrings and we flex and point the toes. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep that core engaged, that lifted leg reaching toward the ceiling, and we float our arms to the ceiling as well. Let's take our lifted leg toward the screen and toward the far wall. Keep it moving. Keep the trunk as still as we can. Keep that pelvis facing the ceiling as well. 2 more times out and over. It's okay to have the knee a little bent if we need some slack to let that hip move. And then we circle the ceiling for 4, 3, 2, breathe in at the top. Exhaling, we take it the other way. Here's 4, 3, 2, breathe in at the top. Exhaling, give that knee a hug into the body. Release those muscles in the front of the hips and take a big breath in. Breathing out, we reset belly to spine and switch sides. Lengthen that stretched leg all the way out along the mat and switch the grip, hanging on behind the thigh. Dropping those shoulders away from the ears, we lengthen our toes to the ceiling, stretching through that knee, and we bend that knee back to tabletop. Straighten and bend. Straighten that leg toward the ceiling, and we flex and point the toes. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Reset belly to spine. Keep the lifted leg where it is. Our arms float to the ceiling, and we drop those blades to settle into the mat. Let's take our lifted leg from side to side, crossing midline if we can, while keeping the bones in the back of the pelvis nice and steady and pressed into the floor. Last 2. And last 1. Circle the ceiling here. Again, bending the knee if we need some slack. Here's 3, 2. Breathe in at the top, and then taking that exhale, we go the other direction. Circle 4, 3, 2, 1. Hang on to that thigh. Draw the knee into the body, releasing the muscles in the front of the hip. We'll pull the other knee in to meet it, hug them into the body, and then we're going to bring our knees slightly away from each other. And grabbing the shins, we rock everything from side to side, allowing that low back to melt down into the floor. Take a big breath in and breathe right back to center, grabbing those kneecaps, and again, guiding those legs back up to our tabletop position. Resetting those arms to the ceiling. Let's take our screen side arm back overhead and press the opposite leg toward the wall in front. Inhale back to tabletop and breathe out. Switch it up. Arm overhead, opposite leg forward. Inhale to tabletop and exhale, switch. Inhale to tabletop. Exhale, switch. Come on back to center. Stretch the toes to the ceiling. Breathe those knees out to V. Inhale, feet together. Exhale to V. Inhale, feet together. 2 more. Exhale out to V. Inhale, feet together. Exhale to V. Inhale, feet together. Drop those blades. Reset that trunk and move to corkscrew. Circle the ceiling. Both legs are glued together, moving in unison. We're either going clockwise or counterclockwise. When we switch, we'll take it the other direction. One more time the way you're going. Breathe in at the top and then switch it with the breath out. Circle 4, 3, 2, and 1 more time. Breathe to the ceiling. Exhale, the knees bent. We're going to flex our feet and bring those knees slightly away from each other. Let's keep that core active, and one at a time we tap a heel down before reaching it back up to tabletop and repeating on the other side. Lower and lift. Lower. Lift to tabletop. As we exhale, we reset that belly down toward the floor. To challenge it further, both heels come down and lift up at the same time. We are perfectly welcome to stick with one heel at a time coming to the floor. To challenge it further, those arms go overhead as the heels come forward. We come back to the ceiling. Exhale away from the middle. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale away. Inhale to start. And last time, exhale the heels to the floor. Lower the toes and reach those arms back to the top of the wall behind us. We're going to breathe those hands down the wall, dropping the shoulders away from the ears and lengthening our thumbs down toward the mat. If they touch, go ahead and press them into the floor. If not, we hold them wherever we can with straight elbows. Take a breath here, and on that exhale, we nod the chin down toward the neck. We drop our breastbone down toward the floor. Feel the middle back press a little more firmly into the mat between those shoulder blades. We drop our lowest ribs toward the mat, and we engage belly to spine. So the entire front of the body is getting nice and heavy into the floor. The closer the hands are to the mat, the more we're going to feel the sides of our trunk lengthen out. And let's inch or slide our legs out straight as we can comfortably get them, keeping those ribs down. Let's tighten up the thigh, lift one leg up and down, tighten up the other, lift the other leg up and down. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, and one more time, lift and lower. Float the arms to the ceiling. We're going to turn and face our screen. And then coming up, let's grab any extra cushioning you want, place it right in the center of the mat, and we'll make our way up to our all fours again. Once we're here, we have the tops of the feet down toward the floor. We're going to keep that core engaged and curl through cat and cow, and repeat that one more time. Curl up to cat and through to cow. Come on back to center, give your tail a wag. Side to side, side to side. Coming back to center, we press the heels, the hands firmly into the floor. and we tap our hand to the opposite shoulder. Repeat, noticing we feel different amounts of pressure through our leg on both sides. We're going to feel the side opposite where the hand is pressing firmly move a little more firmly into the floor. To make this more challenging, move those hands out a little bit wider. Keep them still in line with the shoulders versus forward or back, and we tap again. There's 4. There's 3. 2. Last one, we line up with those wrists under the shoulders again, and we curl through cat, releasing to cow. Coming back to the center, slide your screen side arm out to the screen. Look to the fingertips and breathe as we find our screen. Exhaling, thread the needle, reach through, over toward the far wall, looking over your shoulder gently. Repeat, arm comes up and out. Thread it through, and we take that hand back to the mat. Repeat on the other side. That arm comes to the far wall. Look over your fingertips. Breathing out, we thread through, reaching toward the screen. Inhale up and out. Thread it through. Take that hand back to the mat. Wag your tail. Take it side to side. Coming back to center, slide your far leg back. Lift that leg up, squeezing the glute, and we take our opposite arm to the wall in front. Hold 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, and then we repeat on other side. Lengthen, reach, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Switch it up. Lengthen and reach. We hold. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And switch it up again. Lengthen and reach. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand comes down. Toes come to the mat. Slide the leg out toward the screen. When the toes are level with the bent knee, we press our foot into the floor. We're going to try to get the whole foot on the mat, including that pinky side. We can hold here, dropping the inner thigh on that extended leg a little closer to the mat. Hold here or add a little rock back, bottom to heel. Keep that rock going. 2 more times. Move through whatever range that bent knee is happy with also. Keep that in mind. Coming up onto our hands again, we slide the leg back. Bring it into center with a big breath in. Curl the cat. Release to cow. Coming back to center, slide the far leg back. We arc that leg to the side. When the toes are level with the bent knee, we press that foot into the floor. Lengthen through the inner thigh and hold it there. And add your rock back if you can. It is also perfectly fine to hold up nice and steady with the bottom over the knee versus adding the rock. We'll go one more time if we're rocking. Come on back to center, take a breath. Belly to spine on the exhale, we slide the leg back. Turn the toe under, press the ball of the foot into the floor, and press the heels of the hands firmly into the mat as well. Reset belly to spine, pop up to plank. Let's tap one foot at a time just beyond the border of the mat. Keeping everything else nice and still. We're doing our best to keep our rear end lined up with our shoulders. Pull one knee into the same side shoulder. And repeat. Last 2. Last 1. Knees come back down to the mat. Curl through cat. Take it to cow and come on back to center. Get that tail a wag. We're going to bring our forearms down to the mat. Take a moment here just to wiggle those wrists. Take the hands toward each other and away. And roll them in circles if you'd like. One direction, the other, and then we plant our hands firmly into the mat and lift up that bent knee closest to the screen. Take the leg up, float it down. Press it up, float it down. 2 more. Press it up, float it down. Press it up and hold it there. Start with the knee bent, and then we straighten the leg. Bring the heel toward the bottom. Straighten and bend. Last 2. Last 1. Bend to 90 degrees and flex the foot. We're going to squeeze that glute, kick the ceiling. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float the knee down, breathe in, and exhaling, we repeat on the other side. Press up, float down. Press and lower. Press and lower. Press that leg up, hold it here, straighten and bend that knee. For 4, heel to bottom. For 3, 2, and 1. Flex the foot, kick that heel up to the ceiling. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Float the knee down, curl back up to cat. We walk our hands back toward our knees and rise up to tall kneeling. Do whatever you need to do to adjust your position to get comfortable on your extra cushioning now. So if you need more than that cushion, take your mat and double it over so you have a little bit more padding underneath you. We're gonna be up nice and tall. Bring those knees hip width apart so they're a bit away from each other. We're going to take our one hand to the front of the belly, one hand to the small of the back, and try to stack your trunk up over your pelvis as best you can. If you're a little tight in your hips, the rear end might be back a little bit. We're going to do our best to get up nice and tall. Inhale here and exhale, belly and spine toward each other. Lean the body back, moving as a unit from the knees all the way up to the crown of the head. Find your quads, and then come up nice and tall again. Exhale, lean back. We feel those quads. We're going to feel some engagement through our midsection. Inhale up tall. Breathe out, lean it back. Inhale up. One last time, breathe it back. Inhale up. Bring the arms down by the sides. We're going to flip the palms to face forward. Our hands are out about a 45-degree angle away from our body right now. We're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. With the hands back behind us, we're going to aim our fingertips toward the very back of our mat. And then we're going to bring our pinkies toward each other. Open up the chest. Feel those blades squeeze. Pulse it for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float those arms down. Give the shoulders a couple of rolls. We'll take them up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. Slide the arms down. We're going to come forward and take any extra cushioning out from under those knees. Slide the thighs back behind us. We rest on the mid-thigh. And then keeping that core active, we press into our hands and lift the breastbone just slightly so it's facing the bottom third of our mat, or of our wall, in front of us. Bring a heel toward the bottom. Give it 2 quick kicks. Straighten out. We repeat on the other side. The goal here is to keep us consistent where we're resting on our thighs and to keep that low back curve nice and still. Kick 4. Kick 3. Kick 2. And kick 1. Come on down. We're going to turn over and take a seat on our mat facing lengthwise the other direction. So we're going to do our best to get up and settle our weight in front of our sit bones here. The knees will start bent. We bring our heels toward the outer borders of our mat, and then keeping the pelvis, the trunk, and the head stacked as best we can, we're going to slide our feet forward. If you feel like you're starting to round back behind your tailbone, bend those knees up and don't take the legs any farther forward. If you have some length through the hamstrings, you're welcome to straighten the knees out as best you can, keeping that stacked alignment through the midsection, and we slide our fingertips toward our feet. Let's raise those arms to shoulder level, turn the palms in, take a big breath in. Belly to spine on the exhale, hinge through those hips, lean that body forward. Again, bend the knees as necessary, and then come up nice and tall. Exhale, hinge, reach forward, inhale up. Notice the curve in my back, the curves in my back are staying the same. Inhale up, one more time. Hinge forward, inhale up. Those arms come out to the sides. Only take them out far enough that we can still see those thumbs wiggling in our peripheral vision. And keeping that core nice and active, rotate, turn that body toward the screen. And right back to the wall in front. Breathe out, turn away. Inhale, face forward. Exhale, turn. Inhale, face forward. And one more time, turn. Inhale forward. Let's take our hands down by our sides. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And tip that head from side to side. Coming up to the center, we bring our feet together, shake the legs up, bend up the knees. We're going to bring our arms to shoulder level. Turn again, the palms face toward each other. Lean back just a touch. Find your core. As we lean back, we're going to feel a point where the abdominals start to kick in. And we come up onto our tiptoes and rock those knees toward and away from the screen. Toward and away. We're resting right behind our tailbone. Side to side. Coming back to center. Place the heels on the mat. Grab the shins. Pull the body up nice and tall again. Again, inhale, shrug the shoulders, and exhale, take them back and down. Let's move our hands to the outer thighs just above our knee joint lines. Tucking the elbows in by the sides, we'll press our hands and thighs toward each other. Feel those hips working a bit. Straightening out the elbows, we'll lean our body back. Hold it there. And let's open and close one arm at a time. Take it back to the knee, press and open the other side. Breathe into center, exhale, open toward the screen. Inhale to center, open to the far wall. We got 4 more. Open for 4. Back to center. For 3 and center. Last 2. and 1. Grab the shins, pull that body up nice and tall, and we'll take our hands back behind us. The hands are lined up just behind our bottom, and we'll straighten out those elbows, fingertips facing the side walls. Squeeze the blades up toward the top of the wall in front. We're going to rock that bottom forward. Feel your biceps start to stretch out as we do. Feel that chest open up. And find the point where we feel the stretch that is appropriate, something that was a challenging stretch, but that's not going to make us feel like we have to hunch forward with those shoulders. And we're going to hold that position with the open chest. Big breath in. Big breath out. Again, big breath in. Big breath out. We can hold here for 2 more breaths, or we can walk our heels a little closer to the bottom, unweight that rear end, and lift up toward reverse tabletop. Wherever we are, we hold for 1 more breath. And then as we breathe out, we come down with control, taking a seat as our bottom touches the mat. Shake those wrists out, roll your shoulders out, and we're going to make our way down onto our mat onto one side. Resting on that bottom arm, our knees are forward, our hand is on that waistline, and we lift the lower part of our waistline from the floor. Keep the toes together, we press to clam, top knee comes up and down, there's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Lift the foot on that top leg, lift the knee, lower the knee, lower the foot. Foot lifts, knee lifts, lower the knee, lower the foot. So we're going through a bigger rotation range with what that knee has to come through. Toe down, lift the foot, lift the knee, lower the foot. Both feet come up and down. 4, 3, 2, lift and hold, and again we press up. 1 more set of clam. 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down and feet come down. Press the bottom leg into the mat. We lift to hydrants. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. We take our top hand of the mat, straighten the bottom leg out. Again, we lift to hydrants. 4, 3, 2, 1. Right back down to hip level. Stretch the toes to the screen. We swing our leg back. Here's 3. Swing back. Forward for 2. And swing. Last time. Forward and back. Stretch the top arm overhead. Our toes come down and up for 4, 3, 2, 1. Circle forward. 3, 2, 1. Reverse it for 4, 3, 2, and hold. Take the top hand of the mat again. Slide the bottom leg back in line with the top one. Lift that bottom leg. There's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we take our legs down. Bend the knees. Pat that hip out and reach to the screen. Breathe that arm to the ceiling. Look to the fingertips as we inhale, and we exhale to open book. Lengthen through that trunk. Inhale up, exhale forward, and let's bring ourselves up and over to our other side. Take your time getting down. We rest on that bottom arm with the knees forward. Lift the bottom of the waistline up, and we take our hands to that top hip. Top knee comes up and down. There's 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the knee down. Lift the top foot and the knee. Knee comes down. Foot comes down. Foot comes up. Lift the knee. Lower the knee. Toes come down. Lift the foot and the knee. Knee down. Toes down. Last one. Lift the toes. Lift the knee. Knee comes down. Toes come down together. Feet come up and down for on their own. 3, 2. Lift and hold. 1 more round of clams. Feet stay lifted. Here's 3 and 2 and 1. Knees come down. Feet come down. Hydrants. Press your bottom leg into the mat. 3, 2, 1. Back to hip height. Take the top hand of the mat. Straighten that bottom leg out. Hydrants again. 3. We are in the home stretch. 2 and 1. Back to hip level. Stretch the toes forward. Straighten the knee. Swing the leg back. Swing forward and back. 2 more. Swing forward and back. Last one. Take it forward. Swing it back. Top arm comes overhead. Toes come down and up for 4, 3, 2. Lift and hold. Circle the top leg forward. 3, 2, and 1. Take it backward. 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. The top hand comes down to the mat again. Slide the bottom leg back in line with the top leg. Lift that bottom leg up. There's 8, 7, 6. Try to get knee to knee. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top leg comes down. Bend at the knees and give that hip a pat. Reach that top arm forward and we take it to the ceiling. Breathing in, we look to those fingertips, and then we breathe out to open book, reach toward the far wall. Inhale, arm up, and exhale forward. Let's turn onto our backs. Bend those knees up. Slide the arms slightly away from center and rock those knees from side to side. Come on back to center. Spread those feet a little bit apart. Curl the pelvis from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Coming back to neutral, keep that core engaged. We squeeze the glutes, press the heels into the mat. Lift to bridge. We can just take it up partway, or we can squeeze and lift till we get a little length through the front of the thighs. Wherever we are, we hold it here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we lower that body down, hips coming down toward those heels. Release the glutes at the bottom, cross the far ankle to that screen side knee. Lift up if you have a little slack remaining, and we give that lower body a side to side rock. Coming back to center, we unwind, ankle to knee. Again, if we have a little more slack, we can lift. Either way, we rock side to side. You can press into those arms for a little more stability for the upper body. And then coming back to center, we unwind, hug those knees into the chest. And again, rock side to side, this time allowing that low back to flatten into the mat. Coming back to center, we keep our big toes together. Bring those knees slightly farther apart and bring your hands to the middle of each shin. As we drop our bottom and our heels toward the floor and our bottom toward the mat, we should be able to leverage our elbows a little bit into our thighs to get a little more inner thigh length. But again, we can get a little side to side rock. We come back to center. Circle your ankles one direction, circle the ankles the other, and then we'll guide our feet down to the floor. As the hands come down, we'll rock that lower half of the body side to side. One more time to each. Breastbone faces the ceiling. Coming back to center, we turn ourselves toward a screen. Get that cushion if you'd like it. Place it under the knees. We'll meet up in all fours. Once we're here, we curl through cat. And we reverse through to cow. Again, curl cat to cow. Come on back to center. Give that trunk some stability and wag the lower half side to side. Coming back to center, we turn our toes under, press the balls of the feet into the mat, and rock the bottom back to the heels. Hold it here. Again, we curl through cat and cow. Walking the hands back to the knees, we get ready to shift our weight over to our feet. And as we get our weight settled right over the front of our ankle bones, we can press ourselves up nice and tall. Take a moment at the top to shake everything out, get your bearings, make sure you feel steady. Take a few deep breaths as we normalize the standing position. And then let's come to face the screen. We'll bring our fingertips to that waistline, settle those feet hip width apart, and reset belly to spine. We're going to shift our weight to one side, come up onto the balls of the other foot. If you can, we're going to come up onto the other tiptoes. And if you can, we're going to lift up to a single leg balance. Holding here, if you'd like to turn your head, go ahead and do so. It's always okay to move to something steady if you need something to hold on to also. Look forward, hold 3, 2, and 1, and we switch sides. Shift the weight. Come up onto the ball of the other foot, and then up to the tiptoes if you can. And if you feel steady, go ahead and rise into single leg balance. Turn your head if you want to make it harder. Sometimes every day is a new balance adventure, so do what you can. Face forward, we hold through 3, 2, and 1, and those feet come down shoulder width apart. Shake your legs out. Hands on the hips, tip those hips side to side. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and we drop the hands down by the sides and shake them out. Inhale, shrug, exhale, drop those shoulders down. Inhale the arms overhead and clasp those fingers, reaching them up to the ceiling. Breathing out, we face forward and take a nice tall side bend to one side. Inhale up to the ceiling and repeat on the other side. Pressing through the feet, we'll pop those heads and trunks and arms up to the ceiling and take our feet together. Unclasping, we reach up and look to the ceiling. Press those palms together and take them right into center. Excellent work as always. Thank you for showing up and moving with me. I appreciate each and every one of you and hope you have a wonderful weekend. See you again soon.